Hey there, demons. It's me, your boy. And we are here getting started with Deadly Premonition 2. I don't think I've ever really. No, I think I have done like a casual Switch stream, but I didn't record it. But yeah, this is my Switch. I've had it for like a million years, and I don't really play it. Unfortunately, here's what I have. A lot of it I have on other consoles. I end up buying more games that are for like they're just ports. I need to play Bayonetta 2, but I gotta finish Bayonetta 1. I'll probably do that on PlayStation. But yeah, I have a lot of stuff. See, Deadly Premonition is on my camera on. Whoops. Deadly Premonition Origins. This is Deadly Premonition 1 that's on there. And then there's Deadly Premonition 2, which we're gonna go ahead and get started with. Yeah, I don't really use my Switch like that much. I don't regret buying it, but it goes criminally underused. But here we are. We've even got the Pro controller. Like, I bought this with my Switch because I was like, there's no way. I hate using the Joy-Cons, man. They just, like, if it's any sort of game that uses the triggers, like, I'm out. It doesn't feel good. If there's one thing I've learned about like handheld consoles, you either have one big trigger and just design your game on having one on each side, or you just have to put the bulk in there to get two good sized triggers. They don't have to necessarily be the full ones, but they need to be enough. Alright, so we're leaving all this as is. Full disclaimer, I have saves. I've put about not that much time. No, that's the time of the save. It was, yeah, about 10 hours. There we go. I was looking at the actual time. Like back in July of 2020, I put some time in on this. But I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I barely remember any of the story, so we might as well treat it like it's a new playthrough. Let's get to it, friends. I'm gonna make a small adjustment here on my end. I'm gonna reserve a lot of my thoughts about this game. At least here up front. Le car, or is it Le Carry? This will only be a little over a 2-hour stream, by the way. We're not gonna have a big stream, because I got stuff to do. Just live later at night. Gotta go Savvy's. Oh, right. There's a body that's like cut up. This feels like the JoJo Part 5 reference. Is that a motherfucking JoJo reference? So the game has a bit of a different art style than the first one did. And in ways it looks better, and in ways I think it looks worse.
God damn it. What a way to start the new year. At this rate, I'll be dead by Easter.
Quiet down, Agent Jones. You're on the clock.
Quiet down? Ha! You have any idea what you've done?
We're very much locked on the rail.
In Havana right now, if you hadn't shown up. Soaking up some rays,
That's why she's moving
surrounded
so
by
weird.
a harem of bikini queens, a mojito in one hand, and a seafood-slathered Havana-style pizza in the other. What did I do to deserve this? Does God hate me?
No. The regional bureau chief merely issued a special order.
Oh. Yeah. How could I forget? A special order to rob me of my well-deserved vacation?
You want pizza? I'll buy you some pizza. You can find that junk anywhere.
Whoa! Hey!
I put in a
Hold
longer
on.
conversation than the
What
walk.
did you just say? Pizza is not junk. Pizza is a sacred food bestowed upon us by God himself. You need to apologize right now. This is sheer blasphemy.
Apologize to who? Pizza or God?
Ha ha! You think you're so clever.
can't even turn her around.
Maybe if you'd eaten pizza this morning like a decent person, you wouldn't have cut your finger.
I only cut my finger because I couldn't find a left-handed can opener at the hotel. Normally, I would never make such an amateur mistake.
Oh, really? Well, if you want me to get into gear, then just feed me some pizza, okay?
We must act unfaithfully and abandon our ideals again.
Why are
and
they
again.
having such a
We cannot
long
advance from one
conversation?
period of life into another
'Cause I feel like it's
without
gonna cut off
causing
as soon as I
these
go through this
pains and
door.
treachery.
Nietzsche, again, please spare me before my ears start to bleed. Ever since the moment you got here, it's been nothing but Nietzsche quotes.
The worst enemy you can meet will always be yourself.
I said knock it off. I prefer pizza to philosophy. Want me to dial the number for you?
Come on, Agent Jones. It's time to get serious. Your 4.5 years of hard work are finally about to pay off, and all you're focused on is this nonsense?
Pizza isn't nonsense.
Quiet.
As you wish, Mother. My lips are sealed. Happy now.
Yeah, that was totally going to cut that conversation in half.
Agent Jones, don't let him take control of the conversation. The moment you let your guard down, he'll strike. And no red, remember?
It's open. Come on in.
Hauled their ass out. I should say this is the latest version of the game. Look what they did to my boy.
You have questions for us. That's why you're here, isn't it?
We've been locked on a track the whole time. We haven't been able to freely move.
Mr. Morgan, before we question you, allow me to first read you your rights. Anything you say may be used against you in a court of law. Please keep that in mind as you speak. Do we have permission to film this?
Don't worry, my fairy. They're free to do whatever they like.
Something wrong, Mr. Morgan? I'm FBI Special Agent Ayyyyye Davis, and this is...
Simon Jones. An analyst from the Boston branch. He's been monitoring us for years now.
Oh, hi.
Seriously.
A Southern belle and a lonesome loser who can't catch a break.
Ugh.
Quite the uncanny duo. You'd be the perfect stars for the latest video game. Isn't that right, my fairy? How many years has it been since someone came to chat with us? Oh, but don't ask me about my fairy. That's a private matter.
It's hard to tell
That's
what
what he
he's
said about
thinking,
Zach the first time.
but
That's
my
what York
eyes
said
can't
about
be
Zach.
deceived. If he's hiding something, it'll come out in his face.
Alright, so we can kind of pick certain things to look at, so...
Letters of appreciation from the governor and the Department of Justice. They're caked in dust as if he doesn't even care about them. This smell. It doesn't surprise me at this point, but it'll be problematic in court if they decide his testimony is unreliable. I won't get another chance to talk to him face to face like this. I need to get him to stop smoking that for a bit. Francis Zach Morgan. He was once an FBI special agent, an extremely talented one. At least that's what they tell me. Perhaps he was a little too talented.
Hey, Belle. Why are you dressed so handsomely?
What are you talking about?
The thick black accessory wrapped around your neck. That's a male necktie. The color black represents confidence and interest in the self. And your decision to wear a male tie symbolizes your declaration of war against a predominantly male society. Or perhaps it's a psychological barrier meant to hide the weakness that dwells deep within your psyche. We admire your bravery.
I thought you retired from profiling.
Bullseye, huh? You're an easy one to read.
In order to think with society, a man must first gouge out his eyes and cut off his ears. Don't judge a book by its cover. For someone who's supposed to have been one of our best, you've got an awful eye for people. Or did all that smoke and kill all your little gray cells?
Okay, Ayyyyye, that's enough. She's smart, but she's also more of a shrew than she lets on.
Agent Jones, that's sexual harassment.
So, Belle, does that barrier of yours also protect you from violent criminals?
He's more dangerous than I thought. I can't read him. I'll just have to assault him head-on with questions then. First, I'll try using the files on the table to shake him up. Stage 4 progressive malignant tumor. How do humans behave when they know death is just around the corner? And what if that human is also a high-functioning sociopath? An ornate antique chessboard. Looks like he stopped halfway through the game. But who was playing with him? These files are from the case that took place just outside of New Orleans in 2005. The agent who handled the case was Francis Zach Morgan, and now he's sitting right in front of me. Do you remember the homicides that took place in Le Carre, Louisiana in 2005?
We solved that case.
Your report states the following. By coincidence, you encountered a serious incident in a town you visited while on vacation. You then decided to steal the right to investigate from the local law enforcement and took over the case. After several more homicides, you managed to apprehend the perpetrator.
Yes. Yes, that's exactly what happened. We stole the right to investigate from them, just as you said.
It all started when the body of a 16-year-old girl was discovered. You arrived in Le Carre immediately after that, didn't you?
We just can't seem to keep ourselves away from dead girls.
Did you really visit that town just to take a vacation?
We don't know. If you already have the report, then we suggest you read it, Belle. Either way, that case is closed.
Closed? You sure about that? Don't you think this puzzle is still missing some crucial pieces?
Come on. No need to beat around the bush with us, Belle.
They found Lise Clarkson's body. It was hidden deep within the Clarkson Food Delivery Services cold storage warehouse.
After 14 years, we finally discovered the body of the very first victim. Do you know what this means? That's why we're here. The first victim in the case he solved, Lise Clarkson. This is a photograph of what she looks like now. How will he react when he sees it? The body that went missing for 14 years was suddenly discovered frozen in a warehouse. This is some kind of message from the victim to us.
I feel very
We're
restricted at the
pleased
moment.
that her body turned up. Deeply pleased.
You claim to have closed this case, but now a lost body suddenly surfaced. Aren't you curious about the details?
Body or not, we already solved that case. Lisa's body can't change anything now. And it certainly has nothing to do with us.
I suspect the body was stored there rather than abandoned, due to the unnatural state it was found in. She was found frozen in a storage unit. Therefore, she looks exactly the same as she did when she disappeared. In fact, she's in such good condition that we can even determine the murder weapon and cause of death.
Well, good for you.
Even stranger is how unbelievably beautiful she
How
looks.
dare she be beautiful?
At first glance, few would guess she was a murder victim at all. She looks more like a piece of art, or a mythological figure from a painting.
This keeps getting better and better.
Better and better?
Isn't that right, my fairy? A corpse as beautiful as a goddess. Sounds just like our story. Yes. Yes.
That went okay. Now I'm sure that Morgan's hiding something. I may be able to get what I want if we go deeper into the documents.
Isn't there someone else you should have talked to? Before coming to us? Such as...
We were unable to reach Patricia Clarkson. You look surprised. I thought you already knew. After all, you visited Louisiana last week. We assumed you met with her during your time there.
We haven't been to Louisiana. Not in 14 years.
Is that so?
We've been right here in our apartment this entire time. That man is our witness. Aren't you, Simon?
He's right.
Why are they already not on the same page?
He didn't even take a single step outside on Christmas Eve. Which means that I didn't get to either.
Are you positive about that? I took the liberty of checking some airline records. Last Friday, the name Billy Bishop was listed on a morning flight out of Boston. This is the fake name you used to use as an agent, isn't it?
A mere coincidence.
Yet that's not all. That evening on the same day, a man with a large scar on his forehead allegedly purchased an '89 Cadillac from a small used car lot in Le Carré. He reportedly said he wanted something old, big, and strong. The owner of the car lot felt it was a strange order, so it stuck in his mind.
Our world is filled with mysteries. And they always have the most bizarre timing.
Incidentally, on the following day, an identical Cadillac was taken to a scrapyard in Trenton, New Jersey.
You can find that type of car anywhere. Isn't that right, my fairy?
You may be wondering why we decided to unearth all these old files.
Everything happens for a reason.
The moment Lise Clarkson's body was found, we did the best we could to start our own local investigation. But there wasn't much we could actually investigate due to the damage caused by the hurricane.
Then we assume you also questioned everyone who worked in the warehouse.
Of course. We questioned all the Clarkson Food Delivery Services employees who staffed the warehouse and its owner, but we still have yet to obtain any key testimonies.
Par for the course with a 14-year-old case, if you ask me.
Not to mention how bad the timing was. Most of the employees were on vacation.
So, you gave up on the investigation and came to see us instead. Remember what happened, my fairy? That warehouse. That man. So incoherent. Such a pain.
Hey, are you talking about the guy who managed the vault where Lisa's body was found? Yeah, I think he started working there in 2005. Remember, Ayyyyye? You said he was a pain to deal with, too.
The large man, yes? No need to answer. If you don't want to. I'm sure you've already put him under surveillance. Textbook FBI protocol.
Morgan's right. Everything happens for a reason. Even this messy room. There must be a reason for it. Especially when it comes to those strangely tidy spots. They're practically begging me to question them. DVDs are all over the place. I know that he's a shut-in, but this still seems like way too many for one person. And I've never heard of any of these titles before.
Come on. You can get down there. Thank you.
This room's a total mess. But certain spots look perfectly clean. Is it just a coincidence? No. There are no coincidences with this man. Mr. Morgan, I found several spots in this room that look strangely clean. Did you tidy up a bit because you knew we were coming?
Those are sanctuaries. They've existed from the start.
Sanctuaries.
That's right. Sacred places. Hovels for pure souls, if you will.
Were there originally objects in those hovels? Something you didn't want us to see?
The soul's still there. We haven't touched a thing. But we know you can't see anything. Hey, Simon, don't touch the sanctuary.
Sorry.
That's a sanctuary. Don't ever touch it again. You've been watching us for 4.5 years, and you couldn't even figure that much out.
My bad. It's my first time actually coming inside, you know.
You're earning far more than you deserve then. What were you doing all day in that black Suburban? We thought wiretapping was your specialty. Don't tell me. Crossword puzzles. What do you think, my fairy? 4.5 years. All that time, and what does he have to show for it?
I like how he's just casually dunking on how he sucks.
Crossword puzzles? No way. Come on, I thought you knew. I'm a Sudoku guy.
Agent Jones.
Oh, right.
He's completely taken control of the conversation. At this rate, we'll never get anywhere. I need to press him some more. Agent Jones. The briefcase isn't even that big. How long does he intend to keep that up? Does he have pizza menus stuffed inside there or something?
So there's already a lot of flavor text.
Agent Jones, did you find the files?
This is Greenville Case Files Presiding Agent Francis Z. Morgan.
Mr. Morgan, do you recognize these files?
I don't have to press this one, strangely enough.
Whoa! Ow!
We told you. That's a sanctuary.
Let him go! Assaulting an FBI agent is an obstruction of
told you.
justice.
We told you. Go. Ah! Say back. Stay back. Sanctuary. Down. Surrounded. Ah! 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 Yeah.
Mr. Morgan? I cut my finger with that can opener this morning. I thought I stopped the bleeding, but it seeped through. How could I be so stupid? Everything should be fine now. I'm sorry for being so careless.
A thing.
I made sure to read through your file and learn about your condition. The color red. Such an unusual thing to fear. Please, accept my deepest apologies.
I'm sorry too, Morgan. I don't know what I was thinking. I'll never touch one of your sanctuaries ever again. And no more red, either.
ever touch one again. I don't...
Now, may we return to our discussion?
Oh, don't worry. I won't let them touch you again. I'll keep them away from us.
Strangely enough, this man has a fear of the color red. And I believe that fear is connected to the Greenville case. The files on the serial killings that shocked Washington State in 2010. Officially titled the Greenville case. I never thought I'd take out files from a case I first heard about on the news. Mr. Morgan? I'd like to ask you some questions about this case now.
We don't want to remember that town.
I'm sorry, but there's no way around this. I remember hearing about this case on the news when I was still a student. A high school girl named Anna Graham was murdered and the FBI stepped in to take over the case. I also remember it becoming a sprawled investigation due to evidence found in the victim's throat. Is that correct? After that case, you went on sick leave for 2 years. And when you returned, you requested to be switched over to desk work. What happened?
That's a private matter. None of your business, Bill.
None
Were
of
you
your business,
traumatized?
Bill.
It's a common problem with prolific agents such as yourself. But there's another possibility that may make more sense. Perhaps you simply finished making preparations.
What are you getting at?
Thinking too much about something will always turn it into a problem. The Greenvale case. Don't you think it resembles the Luke Carre case?
Read the report. We have nothing else to say.
I just need one more push. One more thing that can summon up the past. A picture of a leaf. This isn't just a picture of any leaf. It's the most important leaf. The belief in truth begins with the doubt of all truths in which one has previously believed. It's time to get down to business. The silver clock in that trash pile. Is that an H5?
That's right. John Harrison's 5th chronometer. Completed in 1770. After many years, he completed it and presented it to the Board of Longitude in order to end their feud with him. That's only a replica, of course.
You like clocks?
Clocks are amazing. Prime fruit of the human race's intellect. We took the invisible idea of time and manifested it in these.
Yeah, I love clocks too. Absolutely fascinating.
I disagree.
Oh? Why?
Time is valuable precisely because it can't be seen. Yet nowadays people can't tell what time it is unless it's measured in numbers. Talk about idiocy. I don't mean to side with the Board of Longitude, but remember, humans used to cross oceans with the stars alone. We have our eyes to read moon charts and study the sky. We don't need clocks.
What if it's cloudy?
What a
or
weird
stormy?
hill to die on. We don't need clocks.
All you need is courage and a love for adventure.
Hear that, my fairy? Courage and a love for adventure? Come on, Belle. Surely you know how many lives have been claimed by your pals' courage and
Oh,
adventure.
thanks. I'm getting a cut next week. Well, yeah, I guess I usually have my hair
Hey,
tied back.
Hold on a second here.
Yeah, I'm tired of fussing around with it.
That Board of Longitude thing. What the heck is that? I mean, I've heard of it before. I'm an FBI analyst, remember? I just sort of can't remember it.
This guy
right
is
now.
such a ding dong.
I know what it is, really. I'm telling the truth. Come on, Ayyyyye, back me up here. Ayyyyye?
Whoops. Okay, so it tells you how to proceed, basically.
Mr. Morgan, please look at this.
What did we just say? We don't want to remember Greenvale.
This isn't a photo from Greenvale. Look closely at it. Former Special Agent Francis Zach Morgan. This photograph predates Greenvale. It's from the Le Carre case you worked on in 2005.
Red tree. Red tree.
Yes, a red tree. Greenvale wasn't the first place you saw one of these. The Greenvale case and the Lise Clarkson murder case. They're connected by these red trees, aren't they?
Red trees. Both places. Growing. Roots. Seeds.
Answer me. What are these trees?
Red trees.
I want the truth. Tell me everything you know.
The red trees. You really did your homework. Well done, Belle. You're good. Damn good.
Are you ready to talk now? I want to know what went down in Le Carre in 2005.
Fine. We'll tell you. We'll tell you what happened in that town. Yes. It was that red tree. That red tree ruined my life. It was a sultry summer day. The sun comes down hard on you in the south, like a torrential downpour of demonic whispers. It all started back in that sweltering summer. We still had our best friend with us back then.
So the fairy and the best friend being York, though technically Zach, because they would have been swapped.
The other me. My
It's not the same as the
better
fairy.
half.
The fairy likely came around after Greenvale.
Never a choice. When somebody needs you, you can't turn away. You're their only lifeline, just a hero, a bullet for hire, working alone. Always a voice, a cry in the darkness, an echo of pain that's been long forgotten, but it haunts me, my destiny, to be alone. There's a time when you see life for what it's gotta be. You should know they'll destroy.
Okay. Is she playing a butt trumpet?
To keep searching, walk alone.
What the fuck? What is this opening? I don't remember this at all. Did we need the explosion for Sweary's name? Oh, shit.
Zach. Zach. Can you hear me, Zach? There you are, Zach. Sleeping again? Well, rise and shine. It's time for us to head back out into the chaos. Isn't that right, Zach?
Deadly Premonition. Blessing in disguise. I should add that as the subtitle for the game. I'll do that for future ones. But yeah, that is the like tag for the game.
Zach, it looks like she wants us to join her for breakfast. Perhaps this town's finally starting to warm up to us.
Ooh, he's looking young. But you should. He's 5 years younger than he was in Deadly
Look at that,
Premonition.
Zach. She's welcoming us with open arms. She's even willing to share that tasty morsel with us. What an honor.
Hurry up and chow down, mister.
He's got a
Unless
big
you
old
like your
meal.
breakfast stale.
What an amazing place. I've been on top of the moon since the moment I got here. And the name of this wonderful town, Le Carré, sounds like French to me. But what does it mean?
I'm the chef, David. If you want to know about the town, you'd better ask the concierge. Only amateur chefs flap their gums about stuff that ain't food related.
Did you hear that, Zach? He's a true professional.
You say something, mister?
No, not to you. I was just talking to Zach.
Zach?
Please don't ask me about Zach. It's a private matter.
If you say so, still. Never thought the FBI would ever come out to a little old town like ours.
I do work for the FBI, but I didn't come here for an investigation. I just happened to stop by on my way to New Orleans.
Never thought there'd be a murder out here either. And it was a 16-year-old kid.
Let me
Not
give you
yet.
some case
This country's seen
details.
better days. What you reckon, mister?
Zach, he's definitely a professional, but it seems like he's also a bit lonesome. That's good. Ambivalence exists everywhere.
Folks say the killer used an axe. Hell of an old-fashioned choice if you ask me.
Actually, Chef David, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the incident.
But shoot, I ain't the one you ought to be asking, Mr. FBI. I only heard what I
Mr.
heard.
FBI?
But seeing as you're fixing to grill me, I can tell you what I know.
Please do. I appreciate it. You said the victim was a 16-year-old. Did you know her?
Well, sure. I reckon the whole town did.
Meaning?
She's Lise Clarkson, the little grandbaby of the Clarkson family.
The Clarkson family?
That's right. You ain't seen they sign on your way in here? The one above that huge cold storage complex. Should have had a dragonfly on it. Anyway, that's the Clarkson family seal. They own most of the land around here, from the sugar plantations right down to the food processing plant. Yeah, I reckon they got a stake in just about everything. They even own the water tower on the edge of town, you know? They're the ones who built up this town, and they still support it.
Is the local law enforcement investigating the case?
Shoot, mister, what you think? Now, I told you this ain't no city. We in the bonafide boondocks here. They got to know how to break up fights and keep folks from killing each other when they pissed you off. They sit down and talk it out with you heart to heart, and when that don't work, they just beat your ass. That's the Deep South for you. This murder ain't like that, though. A little kid got killed. A weird way. Like something on a TV show. The sheriff's department ain't never seen nothing
Weird
like
way.
this.
What do you
the
know about the
questions are
Clarkson's
replacing.
house?
Now, I ain't got nothing bad to say, but I'm gonna talk straight to you. You best steer clear of that place. That family ain't just some gang. They're a whole different kind of beast. They folks with real power. Remnants of the good old boys who shaped America in the early days. Especially the head of the family, P.J. Clarkson. He's the kind of monster who goes around eating other monsters. And I'm sure he's on edge now with his granddaughter getting murdered and all. So don't go barging in with that shiny FBI badge of yours and think you'll be safe for nothing. Things are different down here. So if you plan on sticking around, you best remember that.
I see. I'll keep that in mind. When you say it was like something from a TV show, what exactly do you mean?
Hey, mister, why do you
I
look
wish
so
I could auto
excited,
go
huh?
through the text instead of having to press A
Like
every
a kid
time.
asking grandma to read him a fairy tale.
I just can't seem to keep myself away from young women who died in bizarre ways.
Well, I ain't seen it with my own eyes, but folks say they found the body hanging under a bridge on the bayou. And under that bridge, there was some kind of altar,
An altar?
like something they use in black magic. Something horrible.
Voodoo?
Nah, wasn't nothing like that. Just a weird altar.
That's all?
Oh, and the body was all cut up in pieces, scattered around the altar like.
So she was sacrificed.
That's what the fella who discovered her said, yeah.
Bingo, Zach. This case has got our names all over it. Live and Let Die, Angel Heart, and The Pelican Brief. Right? 9 out of 10 people will name those titles when you ask them to think of a film set in New Orleans. They're all excellent movies, but to me they lack realism. Due to my line of work, I have a tendency to think deeply about what feels real and what doesn't.
What's your point?
Cat People. That's my point. Cat People, 1982, directed by Paul Schrader.
He talks about this movie in both games.
The crowning achievement of Nastasia Kinski, the ultimate muse of the 80s.
the most vital element of that movie is the reality it depicts. Leopards who turn into humans have intercourse with humans and turn back into leopards. Then they can only turn back into humans again if they mutilate their lovers. I was awestruck by the sheer reality of it all. Understand? I'm talking about hyper-realism. After watching it, I felt like I just had to experience the world of cat people for myself. That's why I decided to visit New Orleans.
Okay.
Another vital element of cat people is the presence of Malcolm McDowell. Malcolm McDowell from Blue Thunder. Oh, talk about a masterpiece. Listen carefully, David. Only an amateur would call A Clockwork Orange his best movie. His best movies are Cat People and Blue Thunder, period. You need to remember this, because it's the truth.
He's very bossy about his opinion.
Whatever you say, mister. So, what's your point again?
Never mind, don't worry about it. I already covered all the important parts.
By the way, Mr. FBI, I ain't seen a car in the parking lot. How'd you get all the way out here, huh? Don't tell me you walked.
Well, that's a very good question. Chef David, you've got a sharp eye. It's true that I didn't park my car in your parking lot. Do you know why?
Can't say I do.
Because it was stolen.
Huh? But you with the FBI, right?
Even FBI cars can be stolen. It could happen after you park your car on the side of the road and go off to do some legwork. When you're eating lunch, when you're watching a movie, when you're asleep at night, when you're buying cigarettes at the local supermarket. Your car can be stolen anywhere. That's precisely what it means to be an FBI agent. In my case, my car was stolen while I was on my way down here. But no need to worry. I already reported it to the local authorities. And I've also already acquired another mode of transportation.
Another mode?
Want to hear the details?
Not really. But I'll listen if you want.
Nah.
Then please do. After I finished my work in Houston, I flew to New Orleans. Then, I rented a car at the airport. Whenever I visit the West Coast, I always rent a convertible, especially in California. But now I'm in hot and sticky Louisiana, so I decided on a brand new hybrid car with a fully equipped air conditioning system.
A hybrid car?
Oh yes, they're marvelous. Vehicles that utterly defy everything you think you know about cars. Now, in the year 2005, it feels like we've finally entered the 21st century. Stomp down on the gas all you want. The engine won't make a sound.
It's silent?
At first, I felt like the landscape was moving past me on its own. Give it a few more years, and I'm sure we'll start seeing cars that run purely on electricity. Who knows? In a decade or so, electric sports cars may end up lining the parking lots of Silicon Valley. I can see it now. It's the world of The Last Starfighter, 1984, directed by Nick Castle. It's famous for being the first film to utilize realistic CG, but I couldn't care less about that. See, I was mesmerized by the beautifully refined mech designs. It even made me wish that I could be one of them myself. Especially the Gunstar spacecraft. No other sci-fi movie has ever had.
So, where'd your hybrid car get stolen?
Sorry, I got off topic. I noticed it was missing after I finished my lunch and walked out of the diner. Incidentally, this diner was located at the entrance to a small town just south off the I-10. I went out to get back in it, but my hybrid car was nowhere to be found. I remembered exactly where I parked it, right between a blue pickup truck and a hedgerow. But when I came back from lunch, it had completely vanished. In short, someone stole it, and in its place, they left me this.
What?
A skateboard.
A skateboard?
Yes. While I was sliding my lunch into my stomach, someone was busy replacing my brand new hybrid car with a wooden board attached to 4 wheels.
This is our only transportation. We don't get cars this game.
So then how did you get here?
By riding the skateboard, obviously. Why do you look so surprised? No, I couldn't ride the board very well at first. But by the time I hit the 3-mile mark, I'd more or less gotten the hang of it. By the 10-mile mark, I'd even learned to do a few tricks. It was a journey of self-discovery. Not even I knew I had this latent talent sleeping inside me.
This summer's gonna be another hot one. It's supposed to get over 95 today. Watch out you don't go getting heat stroke.
The Lise Clarkson case needs us. Don't you think so, Zach? The cat people are what guided us to New Orleans. We should be thanking Malcolm McDowell. Once we get home, let's watch Blue Thunder again. I'm already looking forward to it. Aren't you, Zach? Zach, the searing light. These scents.
So bright.
It's the deep south. That was
Deep
a
South
fabulous
has some
breakfast.
hollers that don't
You're the
sun don't
world's
shine
greatest
in.
chef.
Wait, mister. You didn't take a single bite.
Well, the tea was to die for, but I'd prefer coffee next time. What would a morning be without coffee?
Alright, so we're gonna go to York's room and review the case. We can finally get to play a little bit. The game really just hung out there for a second. Wasn't that bad, but this game does not perform well technically. Season 203. San Rouge. Been chasing it all over America. But I feel like we're finally on the verge of finding something now. Don't you, Zach? I think it's about time we ordered a new briefcase. Yes, I know this one carries a lot of memories, but it's seen too much. This hole's from the shootout in Tucson. And this stains from Miami. Miami. Now that was a fascinating case. Billy, our perp, cut his own torso right in two. Wild.
Even with the help of the drugs, a feat like that still requires incredible mental fortitude. I was so impressed that I forgot I'd left my briefcase on the floor. Same floor his blood gushed out onto.
Oh yeah, that would set that case on fire.
I know, Zach, I know. Now isn't the time for a trip down memory lane.
Evidence organization start.
An emergent drug that's been on the rise in 4 southern states. Personally, I think it originated right here in Louisiana, and Lise Clarkson's murder must be connected to it somehow. The 16-year-old girl who was murdered. Her body was found beneath a bridge over the bayou, along with a strange altar. The powerful man who essentially controls the town of Lucare. And he seems to be more fearsome than your average gangster. I doubt he'll be willing to cooperate with any law enforcement, Zach. You know, I keep thinking about that movie we stopped to see on our way here, Zach. The Island, 2005, directed by Michael Bay. For a movie being shown at a cinema complex, it was surprisingly artistic. An experimental setting mixed with hard-hitting drama. It was art house sci-fi. That director's going to change the history of art house films.
No, he's not.
Are you following me here? This is another special film that's setting a new standard, just like Star Wars and Blade Runner did. This is a turning point, Zach. You may be witnessing the birth of a vital new word that will soon become a part of film history. Yes, this single movie may be responsible for creating a whole new genre several years down the line, a genre known as island movies. I sure like the sound of that. Don't you, Zach?
He just goes off on random tangents, talking about whatever he wants. I guess I'm not much different in that regard. He who knocks. The game has to think about it when we go through doors.
Hey there, Chef. What's cooking?
Chef, what are you talking about, sir? I'm the concierge, David. I just heard from our chef that you wish to learn the meaning behind our town's name.
Yes, I've gathered that Lucare is French, but does it have any special meaning?
Why, yes, sir, of course it does. A very clear, logical meaning. All names have meanings. Would you like to know what this one means?
Yes, I would.
Jolly good, sir. Then allow me to explain. Lucare means square in French.
Ah. And
That's it.
that's it?
Yes, that's it, sir. Do take a gander at the town map in the lobby if it fancies you. It's beautiful, valuable, and old. I'm sure you'll understand once you see
It
it.
really is just a giant
Now,
square town.
please excuse me, sir. If you ever need anything, please don't hesitate to ask.
Did you see that, Zach? That was clearly David. Not a twin, not a split personality, just the work of a true professional. It's bizarre, but I can understand it. Remember what they say, the job makes the man.
Oh God, I hope that's not true. My job makes me terrible. So we have a bunch of items for various things.
I'm very satisfied with the decorations and the size of this closet, Zach. And it's even got a security box. What else could a man ask for? It's proof that we're still safely inside the fringes of modern civilization.
So we only have 2 outfits this time. Doesn't comment on the room decoration. Got nothing there, York. Alrighty then. If I remember right, this game does take a while to like open up. So they just keep you kind of trapped in dialogue. Like we have over an hour of pretty much straight dialogue at this point.
Do you feel that, Zach? Dozens of paintings no one will ever see. The faint scent of tobacco baked into these walls for over a century. Now that's what I call a hotel. Zach, can you see him? His fashion sense is beyond me, but He appears to be a gentleman. Perhaps we should talk to him. Nice tie. Did you buy it here?
It's been a long time since someone spoke to me. No one these days ever tries to see me.
They can see what's far in the distance, but are blind to what's in front of them. No. Maybe they're only pretending not to see. That's what civilized society does to people.
Exactly. Ever since mankind got their hands on civilization, they zoomed away at a frightening speed.
Zoomed away from what?
Yeah, that's probably some good weed he's on.
Don't be a fool.
We already saw him
You know
smoking.
the answer. As for me, just call me Hoongan.
Hoongan. Hoongan.
The title given to a leader in a certain religion. Is that what you are?
Well, I should probably disable those. I'll do that afterwards.
Do you comprehend the Oracle?
The Oracle. Put on your religion hat, Zach. Here we go.
Fell 10 maidens in the shrine of hunger. Find the Flying Serpent in the ambiguous zero. Dance with the Flying Serpent, and you will glimpse the other world.
10 maidens and an ambiguous zero. Got it. But what do you mean by otherworld?
Follow the Oracle.
Zach, did you hear all that? Looks like we've already taken our first step into chaos.
Oh,
But such is our duty. We need to accept the chaos, let it inside, then carefully dismantle it piece by piece. And after we've put all the pieces back into their rightful places, the truth will reveal itself. Let's capture the truth and present it with a shiny pair of silver bracelets, Zach.
alright, so we were going to find the map, which is actually our objective.
Zach, this is Lucare. I think I'm finally starting to understand what our concierge was trying to say. You can tell this town was built by a very methodical person. No, wait. Maybe they just didn't care, and that's why it ended up this way. It's just another symbol of mankind's obsession with molding nature to fit our own rules.
I don't think this town is as big as Greenville, because from my understanding, you're kind of stuck to the town, but that may not be totally true.
Zach, what did you think of Hoongan's Oracle?
Like, the town itself
Despite
is
all the
bigger,
dramatic
but
build-up,
it doesn't have all
it's
the
little more than a
countryside
childish riddle.
to get lost in.
Heartwarming, really. Exactly the kind of feeling one gets from the good old-fashioned countryside. Now let's start by tracking down those 10 maidens. The Oracle gave us a place and an act. We need to go to the Shrine of Hunger and fell 10 maidens. Now where in this town can one satiate their hunger? The hotel and where? In the Alexis's Diner and Lane. This is it, Zach. There are even pins and a bowling ball on the sign. I bet we'll be able to eat some Cajun cuisine and bowl there. Maybe even both at the same time. Nice job, Zach. I knew you'd be able to find it.
Cajun cuisine and bowling all in one place. What a combination.
Now for the other oracle. There's no flying serpent on this map. Could it be a contrail or perhaps a dragon? I'm sure we'll find out later. First, let's just figure out where we need to go. Do you know what the ambiguous 0 represents? 0 is usually treated as a base number, but under what conditions would a base number be ambiguous? The answer is temperature, Zach. Yes. 0 degrees Fahrenheit is minus 17.7 degrees Celsius, and 0 degrees Celsius is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. You'd be hard-pressed to find a more ambiguous 0 than that. Very funny, Zach. Now it's time to get serious. You already know the answer, don't you?
No.
The question is, does our 0 refer to Celsius, the Clarkson Food Delivery Services cold storage warehouse? That's got to be it. Even with this blazing sun in the sky, they can easily keep the temperature below freezing. Be honest now, Zach. You knew the answer from the very start, didn't you?
So I remember in my playthrough, I went to the food delivery place, but I had just finished up the bowling, and then I was like, okay,
And how about
I'll play
that
this
Buddha?
later, and I never
What a
went back to it.
mysterious character. His oracles may end up determining how much time we spend in this town.
Sorry, boss, but this is a smoke-free hotel. If you're dying of smoke, head out the entrance and you'll find a smoking area in the rear parking lot.
Don't tell me. You're the
At
bellboy.
your service, boss.
Like, they just gave him a different voice for every job he
you-
does.
Good friends with the concierge and the chef?
We work at the same place, yeah. But, I can't really say whether we're good friends with each other. We're all professionals, though. Nothing more, nothing less.
I believe we've struck gold here, Zach. It just screams.
They're all
deep south,
identical, have
actually.
the same name,
No, it doesn't. This
but
is all his charm.
they're not.
So, if I want to smoke, I should go out the entrance and around to the rear parking lot?
Bada bing, bada boom.
They're not that connected, other than they
Okay.
work here.
I'll play by your rules.
All right, so we have a couple of different missions. And I may have done more than I recall. I remember that I did both of these. Is there an easy way to get out back? No. Maybe? I could see an infinite sprint being incredibly useful. Yep. Load screens. Because we're just getting out into the overworld, so maybe it got really stuck there for a minute.
Compared to non-smokers, smokers have a 4.7 times greater chance of getting lung disease. You know that means it's more likely than getting asbestos poisoning?
The risk of death from lung cancer is actually much lower than what you think it is. In fact, it's tiny when compared to heart disease, strokes, and pneumonia. We're always surrounded by easy ways to die, you know. Some people even get randomly struck by lightning and die right there on the spot.
Then I reckon you also know that secondhand smokers have 1.3 times greater the risk compared to smokers?
Of course.
So you won't mind paying the damages when I die of lung disease? How about writing that in a contract for me? You got a pen, right?
What's she doing hanging out in the smokers area?
I promise to protect you from all the evil in our world. Well, that's stupid. By the way, what's your name?
FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Please, just call me York. That's what everyone calls me.
Is something wrong with you? Adults ain't supposed to act like that. I only asked for your name so I can write it on the contract. You should have been able to figure that out if you're a real FBI agent like you said. Come on, sign here. Right here on the paper.
Just as I thought, Zach. This contract paper, it's a Sang Rouge wrapper. Sang Rouge is here, too. This must mean that Sang Rouge is connected to the Lise Clarkson murder case somehow. This is a sprawling case that spread across the entire South. It's within our jurisdiction, Zach. We'll need to steal the right to investigate from the local authorities at once. By the way, miss, what's your name?
Patricia Woods. But I gotta write my name myself, or else it won't be a real signature.
This ends
Tell me,
up being
Patricia,
your, like, sidekick.
Does this town have a sheriff? Or is it under the jurisdiction of the nearest city police?
Perfect timing. Well, go on and steal it if you want it. I was just thinking about how this is way out of my daddy's league.
Thank you for the information, Patricia. Okay, Zach, it's time to get to work. How should we seize control from the sheriff this time?
Like, it's just a routine thing that he does. Like, oh yeah, how should we steal the investigation? So run, crouch, I guess tapping is dodge. They could have indicate, like hold, run, tap, dodge, whatever. Move the camera. Melee attack, I had to check the controller, then red room, which I'm assuming is the menu. Or plus, we can check out our journal, inventory, map. Yep. It's thinking about it.
Hey there. So, you're the fella from the FBI I've been hearing so much about. I'm Melvin. They call me the sheriff round here.
Melvin Woods.
FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan? But call me York if you can. That's what everyone calls me.
Huh? Well, all right. Mr. York. How's that sound?
Fine by me.
I'm sure you figured this out, but our town's a small one. Yeah, folks are already busy spreading gossip about how some FBI agents come to town. Now, I reckon you came from the city. What was it? D.C., L.A., or New York? Anywho, in the city, it's normal not to know who your neighbor is. Fella who moves in next to you could cook up a dozen folks in his backyard and no one would bat an eye. That's the city for you. Now, I never lived in one myself, but I visited them a few times, so I know what it's like. All pigs must die in the city of wolves. Yeah! Now, does that sound badass or what? I bet you'd... Hey! I know, CLG. I'm just trying to make a little small talk, that's all. Anywho, round these parts, everyone knows each other's name. So lots of folks get leery when they see an étranger like you. And since it's my duty to protect the town, I thought I'd stop by and say hello.
Zach, it looks like this sheriff is quite the happy-go-lucky type. A clear indication of just how peaceful this town is. Melvin, about the Lise Clarkson case.
I knew you were here for that case. Can't put one past the FBI.
I mean,
So they even got eyes on the smallest of towns like us, huh? Our world is filled with information, and it's all within their grasp. FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
she don't know anything that's going on.
The Lise Clarkson case is
disappointed
connected
in every
to a
adult around her.
top-secret case that we've...
I know. If you're fixing to take the lead, then go right ahead. I'm just the humble sheriff of a tiny little town. My jobs are to stop my neighbors from beating the piss out of each other and listen to old folks complain. Honestly, this whole murder case has been weighing me down.
He's
So
ready
I'ma
to
give you my
offload
full
that.
cooperation, Mr. Special Agent, sir.
Well, Zach, that was anticlimactic. I didn't even get to use my secret weapon. Melvin, there's a cold storage warehouse on the southern end of town, isn't there? I'd like to get permission to enter it.
Say what?
You want to see where the body's being kept, right?
Oh, I get it now. Lisa's body, yeah. Now, that's what I call a special agent. You already figured that much out.
I mean,
But, I'm not too sure that, going down there at this point is really gonna help much. You know?
hold up.
Explain it yourself,
Let
Daddy.
me check his
That's
voice
incredible.
actor, because that
I don't
He-
believe this. Amazing. Did you hear
at
that, Zach?
times
They put the
reminds
body
me
in
of
a
Miles
cold
Morales.
storage warehouse. This is fantastic. Insanely fantastic.
Oh.
Really?
awesome.
Well, how about that?
Those are nice. No, I don't think it's
Well,
right.
all right then. I'll head on down to the warehouse ahead of you and make sure we get permission to search it.
Well, I
Sounds
don't
good.
know. He's in Ultimate Spider-Man.
The management company only keeps the warehouse open during certain
so he
hours.
does voice
you'll have
Miles
to come
Morales
during
in
those hours.
some.
I ain't looking to create
aspects.
any further disturbances.
I wasn't
be
totally
on time.
wrong.
Got it? Come on, let's roll,
Unfortunately, I just
CLG.
spoiled part of the game for
I'm
myself.
gonna walk home, Daddy. I still got another stop to make.
Oh, if you say so, sweetie. She's a real sharp one, as you can see, so I try to stay out of her way. Well, all right then, York. I'll see you at the warehouse.
So he's been in games I've played before. Hold on. But not as any like noteworthy characters too much. He was Warren Williams in Saints Row the Fourth. He did do some stuff for Spider-Man Miles Morales, the game. He was also in Final Fantasy VII Remake, Last of Us Part 2, Final Fantasy 15, but like these are all literally just additional voices. But like he sounds incredibly familiar. Yeah, I'll have to look into that more later, but I thought I recognized his voice, and I was kind of right. I've heard him in those games, but not as who I thought he was.
Hey, you.
Except in apparently a movie.
You ain't secretly cutting kids up and sticking them into jars while you work as an FBI agent on the surface, are you? Or using your FBI connections to sell kids to child trafficking organizations?
I've arrested people who've done both, but I've never engaged in either of those activities myself. Of course, I have imagined doing such things in order to learn more about the psychology of the criminals I deal with.
It was just a joke. Why are you getting all serious? And don't tell me what you imagine, or else I'll get scared of you for real. Hey, can I come with you?
No, you're a
You
child.
signed a contract with me, remember? And besides, I'm kind of worried about my daddy.
Do whatever you like. This is America, land of the free. But I have one condition.
What condition?
Don't ask me about Zach. It's a private matter. Zach, it feels like she's carrying something with her. Kind of reminds me of you back when we first met. I can't leave her alone like this. You feel the same way, don't you?
I don't know how I feel about having a small child following me to crime scenes. So, yes, the main quests. They forgot a T. And then the yellow check is a waypoint. I guess I can set those myself. Let's
Melvin
head to
called you
the
a strange name. CLG, I think. What exactly does that mean?
Clever little girl. That's what it stands for, at least. It's nice that he made up his own nickname for me and all, but it sounds kind of weird. I wish he'd call me something normal, like just Patricia or Patty, you know?
Patty? Now that name's got a ring to it. I like it. How about Zach and I call you Patty from here on out?
Do whatever you like. Weirdo. You're heading to the warehouse, right? You gonna go straight there?
Well, I'm not sure yet. I'll have to talk to Zach. We're also on a mission to fell 10 maidens, you see. I'm eager to visit Alexis's diner in Lane, but we've only just arrived in this town, so it might be nice to stroll around a bit.
What? I thought you came here to investigate.
Patty, you're still just a child. Why do you worry so much? We're born to be free. And this is America, land of the free. You should always feel free to do whatever you want. Isn't that right, Zach?
Maybe I shouldn't have come with you. I'm getting kind of nervous now.
So the gameplay rate is better than it was when it launched. It seriously ran single digits. It was terrible. Like doing this would have like caused the Switch to like catch on fire. And I think they just had to like really be like, hey, I know pop-in is the thing, but oh shit, I didn't mean to do that.
Mr. York, that was mighty quick.
We've got anywhere between 30 and
The
50
special
minutes
agent
left on the
does it again.
stream. Just kind of been on where
You
a good
sure don't
stopping
waste any
spot's
time.
at.
I bet my CLG's got a lot to learn from you.
Weird stuff.
By the way, Mr. York, looks to me like you aren't packing anything.
I was on vacation in New Orleans before I happened to stop by here.
Well, shoot, that won't do. Here, I got something I think you'll like.
He just pulls out a fucking bazooka.
I call him Mr. Alligator. Badass, ain't he?
Badass, ain't he?
It's a tranquilizer gun for the gators.
A non-lethal gun made for self-defense. It can only fire rubber bullets.
And here's a radio. With this, you won't have to worry about any expensive roaming fees. Might take you a while to get used to them, but you'll get it. Try letting them rip a few times. Ain't no need to hold back out here.
Ooh. They had to think about that shot. The first one is like, hey, hold up, you got a gun? Yes.
Now this is an intriguing weapon. For a tranquilizer gun, it really packs a punch. But I'm afraid I'll decline. After all, this town is peaceful, isn't it?
Well, sure is peaceful. At least the humans are, but the animals are a different story. Remember what I named it? There are some real mean-ass gators out there in the swamps, and every now and then, they wander into town. One of them even went and ate a kid once. It happened a long time ago, but still.
Just ate a whole ass child?
One chomp's all it takes. They swallow down every last bit of you.
Alright.
Poor kid's parents didn't even know what to put in his coffin. The worst part is, that taught the gators just how tasty we humans are. So now, those suckers just attack on sight. Man-eating crocodiles will feast tonight. In Blood Swamp!
You know he's fibbing, right? Gators don't attack folks. I never heard about no kid getting swallowed by a gator.
Actually, Patricia, you're wrong.
I'm what?
What the hell does wrong mean? And what? I've never been wrong.
Alligators do attack people, and it could happen in any town.
Huh?
Alligator, 1980. Directed by Louis Teague. It takes place in the Midwest, I believe. A teenage girl's pet alligator gets flushed down the toilet. Then, in the sewer, it feeds on the corpses of dogs that were used as test subjects for an experimental growth formula. After growing over 30 feet, it finally starts to go after humans. It's an extremely edifying movie. Back when I first saw it, I had a pet hamster.
Hey, Agent York. What's your first order of business?
Talking about this movie, child.
You're in charge now, remember?
Well said, Patricia. I nearly lost sight of my true goal. Melvin, I couldn't help but notice the name on the side of that truck. This facility is connected to the victim, isn't it?
Oh, right. Yeah. I reckon I better start from there. I'm gonna tell it to you straight right from the beginning, Mr. York. As you guessed, this warehouse is run by the Clarksons. The victim's father, Danny Clarkson, is the one who manages the whole place. Okay, but why did he choose to store her body in his own warehouse, right? Well, that's 'cause there ain't no other place to store it. Our town has a clinic inside a church, but no morgue. Whenever someone kicks the bucket, we just bury him in the graveyard right outside of town. But not this time. We got a murder on our hands this time. We need to give Lisa's body an autopsy and keep it stored, right? So we had no choice but to rent out a corner of this warehouse.
I see. So that's what led to the ingenious choice to store the victim's body in a facility that her family owns.
Yep.
Anywho, this is where the real story begins. Truth is, a few days before you got here, Lisa's body went missing.
Missing?
Yeah. All of a sudden, poof.
Did you leave the warehouse unlocked?
I most certainly did not. I locked the whole place up and made sure no one could get inside. No one stole the original key, and I couldn't find any fingerprints at the scene.
So, in other words, this is a locked room mystery.
The body of a beautiful young girl walks at mid... Hey! All right, CLG. Reckon I should have told you about this earlier when you first said you wanted to come here. It just didn't seem like the time or place as I remember. Anywho, how about we call it a day and head back to my office? You can go through all the files there.
No, thank you. This is what I came to investigate.
But Lisa's body isn't here anymore. You sure?
That doesn't bother me one bit, Melvin. You see, I met a skeletal gentleman on my way here, and he was kind enough to give me an oracle.
A skeletal gentleman. Oh. Why am I shooting to the side? Whatever. It's not like the good old days when we just had infinite ammo. We actually have to manage our ammo. That's a non-lethal gun, so I can't imagine what we'll be shooting.
You holding up okay, CLG? You sure you don't want to wait outside?
Ooh, I'll be fine, Daddy. Just make sure you don't take your eyes off of him.
Get that
It's
child
so
some
selfish and
pants.
inconsiderate. I'm still not convinced he's actually a real FBI agent.
We're inside a
Look,
freezer.
He's talking to himself again.
Zach, this is the ambiguous zero, the deep freeze. Let's hurry up and find that flying serpent, shall we?
Head to the morgue. Ah, we can access the toolbox here. Black bass tail.
Good God Almighty.
Good God Almighty.
This place always gives me goosebumps, no matter how many times I come here.
Yes, it's quite the funhouse. Truly a dazzling place. Meet entertainment. That's the only way to describe it. Woven together by life, frozen in time, a visceral, musical.
Symphony. We eat all this in order to survive.
Yes, truly a symphony. Life and death resonating together.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Cool. Whoa now, CLG. Since when were you interested in this kind
Since I
of stuff?
decided to follow an FBI investigator on a murder investigation.
What are you so surprised for, Daddy? I'm more mature than you are. I've seen way more realistic corpses on CSI, you know.
Oh, man.
At first, Zach, I was shocked by the notion of storing a victim's body alongside food. But as I gaze upon this hanging garden, I realize it's just another scene of violent, depraved murder. Yes. All we need to do is change our point of view, and things will expose themselves in utterly new ways.
Let's be thorough while we check through this place. I remember this being kind of a pain in the ass. Items are difficult as fuck to see. Just doing a quick sweep, but I think we're safe. Whew. Can't run for very long at all. If you hit 0, you can't like continue running.
Melvin, I'd
Yeah,
like
wait
to
till you
take
hit
this
100.
opportunity to ask you a personal question. In the hotel parking lot, when I first met you, the picture you had on your dashboard happened to catch my eye. Was that your wife?
Oh, her? Yeah, that's my lady, all right. Candy. Her name's Candy, the prettiest girl in town, which makes me the happiest boy. A shooting star landed in a rural town, right on top of a man who now has a meteor struck heart.
You always keep her photo with you?
You bet I do. The truth is, Candy's a little sick right now. She can't even leave the house no more. So I always keep her photograph with me. Kinda feels like we're always together, you know?
I see. You care for your wife a great deal, but this means that...
Yeah, that's right. My mama had me before she married Daddy. But it don't matter. He's still my real daddy to me.
Oh, thank you, CLG, and you're my pride and joy.
Well, Zach, isn't this a heartwarming scene? But there's one thing I just can't get out of my mind. Don't you think that photograph looked a bit too old? Perhaps Candy is already... No, let's not think about that. It might be a private matter, just like you, Zach.
At least he didn't have the audacity to be like, so, is your wife dead? Because she sounded kind of dead, bro. Okay, so this is the morgue. Oh, right, we can square up. Which is weird having, like, unarmed melee. We might have had it in Deadly Premonition, but you never need it. You always had a gun. I barely saw this. Okay. This turns into a whole thing. Pain in the ass, sure, but not quite how I remember it. Let's just continue the story. I'll get lost on side shit that may not even matter right now. I think it actually comes up as part of the story. I think.
Here we are, Zach. The morgue.
I will be right back.
They stored the victim's body in a cold storage warehouse operated by her family. I'd love to shake the hand of whoever came up with that one.
Kind of back. I don't know whether it was the fact that we're in like a freezer place in the game, or if I've been cold the whole time, but I needed my jacket. also was in the middle of getting my medicine together and forgot to put it up. That would have been bad if it all spilled. Alright. Camera on.
Hey, Agent York. Did you just come here to laugh at rural officers who are doing the best they can?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
We don't have any special facilities like you people. What else did you expect us to do, huh?
Wait. Wait. We might have to cut the stream, actually. No, okay. I was concerned. The reason we're cutting it at a particular time is the live letter starts at 9 p.m. Eastern. But I just had this like thought because they just went live on Twitch.
Don't compare us with city folk. This is Lucare.
I was like, oh, am I missing it? No, it doesn't start for another hour.
Or maybe you're just disappointed that you didn't get to see the bloated, decomposing corpse of a young girl.
Sorry, you're right. I went a bit too far just now. But don't misunderstand. I honestly think it's a fantastic idea. I'd never try and bully your daddy.
Better not.
Thank you for understanding.
Want that. Alright, we're searching for clues on who took Lisa's body. But before we do, see, I missed an item here on my first run through.
Zach, these are human footprints, and they're extremely large. Yes, Zach, I agree. These footprints must belong to someone who's used to walking around in cold temperatures. This frost is shaped like something we're very used to seeing. That's right, a body bag. Lisa's body must have been left here, but there are no signs that the bag was dragged away, so our criminal must possess monstrous strength. These pallets are a mess. Looks like this area isn't used often. Still, the idea to store a body here, it's a novel, sophisticated idea unlike anything I'd ever come up with. Boxes that got left behind. I can't tell what's inside. What do you think, Zach? I'm gonna go with okra.
Okra.
Yeah, okra. I'm sure it must be okra. That's a staple of the South. An icicle. Never thought I'd see one of these down in the South. Look at the thermometer, Zach. It's at 10 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 12.2 degrees Celsius. This must not be the ambiguous zero. Zach, can you see that? That's right. There are 4 imprints in the frost on the top of this. It's hard to believe, but I think these are fingerprints. Yes, Zach, that would lead one to believe that the body napper is a giant who's over 10 feet tall.
That's wild. Woohoo, money.
Seems like our Flying Serpent isn't here. Is this everything, Melvin? There aren't any other rooms in this warehouse? No special rooms?
Well, there is the luxury foods warehouse.
Luxury foods? Why didn't you say so earlier?
Just thought you wanted to see where the body... I just thought you were only interested in warehouse number 2. Besides, it's underground, so it's even colder than this. You sure you really want to go down there? You could darn well freeze to death. All life will come to an end in the icebound zone. You feel me?
Let's head there at once. I'm sure that must
feel
be
me
to go.
But what about searching for Lisa's body?
All we need to do is find a 10-foot tall man with monstrous strength. That giant knows where she is.
10 foot tall.
But finding the Flying Serpent is more important right now. Now please, guide me to the luxury foods warehouse at once. These luxury foods are most likely being used in local Cajun cuisine. I'm so excited to see what we'll find. Aren't you, Zach?
Debatable. The Flying Serpent must be lurking in the luxury foods warehouse, so we need to get to luxury foods. If I remember right, this is where the fucking begins.
That elevator needs a key, Mr. York.
Do you have one?
Actually, no. I didn't think you'd ever want to go down there, so I didn't bother to go and get one.
Well, then would you go and get one now?
Yeah. COG, I know. I'll tell it to him straight. Thing is, Mr. York, well, they don't too much like the
Oops, I mean,
police.
skip that.
They sure as hell don't like them when they're my color. It was,
Oh,
real hard for me
so
to
they're
get
rich
permission to
and
open up this place for
racist.
you to
Got
search
it.
through. So they ain't gonna be too happy if I go back to them now, asking for another key.
What should we do then?
Let's just find a worker here who can lower the elevator for us instead. All they need to do is take a break from their work for a couple minutes.
And what am I supposed to do? Just stand here and pretend like nothing's happening?
Yeah, you FBI folks are good at that, right? That's always what I see you doing on TV.
Damn, Patty. That's savage as hell. Acquire the elevator key and head to the luxury foods warehouse.
Zach, I think we can move this. Better check back here as well, just to be on the safe side.
Oh, look at that. He doesn't move it entirely as slow as molasses. That's a welcome improvement from the first game. Oh, shit, I didn't mean to use that. I guess it recharges over time. Yeah, looks like it does. It's one bullfrog legs. I think this has to go in because you can't really go up. Oops. Okay, this is safe to get all the way in the corner. Oh, it already is. Didn't look like it to me, but okay. That's a shortcut. So now we can just cut straight through. Not sure what this is. So let's go on an adventure. That wasn't what I meant to do. That's okay. Oh, thing. Crawfish whisker.
Zach, the human ability to adapt is a frightening thing. Some humans have the power to sleep anywhere as long as they set their minds to it.
Me. Guilty. That's a sleeping disorder, though. So we got the elevator key from the sleeping
Now we should be able
worker.
to operate the elevator. No need to worry. This facility no longer has a body to steal. What else do they have to lose? A few cans of crawfish? I feel bad for him, but it's for the sake of the investigation. I'll write him a letter of apology later.
I keep doing that instead of running. Like, it's not a big deal or anything, but they seem to really kind of guide you on it, which is good.
Mr. York, did you find a key?
Sure did.
Ha! Now that's my special agent. There ain't no stopping you.
There ain't no stopping
Wanna
you.
head straight down?
You bet. Let's sally forth, Melvin.
Sally forth.
Zach, look at that thermometer. 0 degrees Fahrenheit, or minus 17.7 degrees Celsius. This is the ambiguous zero.
Hey, Avery! Open the damn door, Avery!
They didn't even get his "Can't you hear me" line.
It ain't no use, Mr. York. Once Avery starts working on something, that's all he sees. He just tunes out everything else. We'll have to wait until he finishes and comes out to us, I reckon. Or we could come back tomorrow.
I disagree, Melvin. Time may be on our side, but that doesn't mean we should waste it. You gave me Mr. Alligator precisely for moments like these, didn't you?
Wait, Mr. York, those tranquilizers may be non-lethal, but it's still dangerous to use them on humans.
Of course, Melvin. I never said I was going to shoot him.
Just gonna drop some
You're
meat
gonna
on him.
shoot some meat to get his attention. I'm right, ain't I?
Shoot down the meat in the luxury foods warehouse to get Avery's attention. Amanda's just got the alligator head.
This is Mr. York, an agent from the FBI.
Hi, Avery. I'm Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Please, call me York.
York, you a smarty pants?
You a smarty pants.
He's shyer than he looks. Come on, just settle down, Avery. Tell him what this here place is for.
Lots of expensive food here. Yup. Mighty precious to the Clarksons, so I gotta guard it.
I see. So you're this area's keeper.
Oh, I help with the research too. I do like research.
I do
Research?
like research.
What are you talking about, Avery? This doesn't look like a lab to me.
Oh, ain't no lab. It's a warehouse. ain't no lab. The smarty pant scientist does the research. I ain't no smarty pants, you know?
He's a bit slow in the mind, but he ain't a bad guy. Oh. Your story about the giant who carried Lisa out. Don't tell me you think it's him. I mean, it's true that he's free to come and go as he pleases in this warehouse, but...
No, as far as I can tell, he's just a bit over 6'5". The one who moved Lisa's body must be at least 10 feet tall. He's clearly too short.
Too short, huh? Well, if you ever happen to find a man who makes him look small, I'd sure like to meet him.
Lise.
Hey, cut it out!
Lise? Why?
Avery, that's not Lise.
Not Lise?
This is Melvin's daughter, and my precious assistant. Unfortunately, Elise is no longer with us.
Lise! Lise!
Please.
My fault! My fault!
I guess he's sort of like Lise, you know? See, the poor fella's got himself a childlike mind. You know how normal kids tease other kids in order to get attention? Well, with this big lug, sometimes folks who don't know him too well see something and end up calling the police. But I know that deep down, he's got a good heart. Hey, Mr. York, I'll keep him busy, but I'd appreciate it if you'd hurry this particular inspection along. Just holler at me if you find anything. I reckon that'll make it easier for you to go do your thing, yeah?
Melvin, I think you're finally starting to catch on.
Find the Flying Serpent in the Luxury Foods warehouse. Alright.
There are torn off claws and legs scattered all over the ground. I doubt they'll fly anytime soon. I can't tell which ones are from crawfish and which parts are from shrimp. How about you, Zach?
Alright, I guess we have to investigate everything. Not that I have like a immediate clue as to what it is. Might as well use it if we're gonna spend it. Oh, it doesn't guide you.
Avery, this box looks special.
Clarkson food. For their home.
Melvin, is this the Clarksons' family crest?
Oh, the dragonfly? Yeah, that's the Clarksons' mark, all right. Ain't no big deal, though. You can find those all over town.
Is that so?
Well, yeah. They pretty much run all of this town's major industries. Yeah. I do believe they own just about everything there is to own. So their word is law. They got the whole darn town tattooed with their dragonflies.
I don't know how I got 10 hours of game time. Because I really don't feel like I played that much.
This dragonfly is our Flying Serpent. The Flying Serpent owns this town. They're related to Lise Clarkson, our victim. And Hungan's oracle pointed us toward their family crest. The Clarksons must be deeply intertwined with this case. Melvin, Patricia, I think I've had enough of this frozen world. Let's head back out to that merciless sun. Well, what are you waiting for? I can't bear to spend another second down here.
Jeez, why would you guys want to hang out in the freezer? I don't understand y'all. Ugh. So yeah, I think I'm gonna use some of this time to get ready to head to Savvy's actually. So at the next save point, we're gonna start a save. I kind of wish I could clear out all the saves that were on here, but like I did check earlier today and I couldn't like easily find a way to do it. That way I wouldn't have to worry about accidentally loading up the old one. Oh.
Whew. So, what do we do now, Mr. York?
Zack and I will take things from here.
Then what should I do?
Tend to your sick wife? I don't know. You're free to do as you please. I'll stop by the sheriff's office when I need your help again.
I suppose that's what I'll do then. It'll sure make Candy happy. But I am the sheriff of this town, so I do intend to get some work done. I know. How about I search for Lisa's body while you're busy?
Not a bad idea. Just be careful that you don't get attacked by a barefooted giant.
Hey, don't scare me like that. Why do you keep talking about that giant anyway? You really think some giant was responsible for all this?
Melvin, don't be silly. Of course I do. Just when I thought you were starting to catch on.
But how can you be so sure?
Proof number 1.
Oh, whoops. So I want to see some proof.
The footprints that led up to where Lisa's body originally was were made with bare feet. None of the prints looked similar to those of common insulated boots, and the arches of the feet were visible. The person who carried out Lisa's body must have had very large feet. I'd say they were at least 16 inches. Proof number 2. I found fingerprints on the cord of one of the hanging lights in the warehouse. The fingerprints weren't aimed up from below. They were coming directly from the side. Clearly, the giant moved the light because it was in his way. He pinched the cord with his fingers. Proof number 3. There was nothing else found in the vicinity where Lisa's body was stored. This means the giant carried her out without dragging her across the floor. But there's only one set of footprints. The only conclusion I can draw from this evidence is that a barefooted giant, standing over 10 feet tall, carried Lisa's body out. That concludes the entirety of my proof. Any objections, Melvin?
But there ain't no way a human could ever be that tall.
Yup.
Have you seen every human alive with your own eyes? Well then, you need to forget all your preconceived notions when embarking on an investigation. Whether you come face to face with a 10-foot giant or a skeletal gentleman, you always need to accept everything that comes to you with a clear mind. Do that, and eventually the truth will reveal itself to you. You're a smart kid, I'm sure you understand.
I need to disable that too.
Well, I'll be damned. I'm sorry I ever doubted you, Mr. FBI Special Agent, sir. A sharp eye and flawless observational skills. Uncovering the truth with a heady intuition. I won't ever question you again. Heck, I'll do whatever you say.
I'll do whatever you say.
That's it, Melvin. I'm glad you finally caught on. Okay, time to go, Patty. You know this town well, so I'd like you to accompany me from now on.
Patty?
Where are you go around calling my daughter
Zack, we
Patty?
found the Flying Serpent. Now we simply need to locate the 10 maidens. It's time to head on to Alexis's Diner and Lane.
All right. Oh. Interesting. So I guess it just cleared them out anyways. But yeah, y'all, that's gonna be us for the stream. So I know it was a short one, but I really didn't have a lot of time tonight, but I wanted to get this started. Sunday is either gonna be a Bloodborne stream with Vim and Paul, or if we can't get the two of them together, then it may turn into another Deadly Premonition 2 stream. But we'll see about that. Just keep an eye on the Discord. I'll post things as I figure them out. But yeah, y'all, until next time, be safe, be kind, and I will see you next time.